Welcome to Coast with the Conduit Culture. Join us as we have insightful and curious conversations with successful entrepreneurs and visionaries from near and far. Let us connect you to amazing people. Let us be your conduit. Get ready, friends. We're going coast to coast in 3, 2. Alrighty, so we have Champagne and Pearls Ladies Night Out is celebrating its 4th annual event on Thursday, October 16th at Audi Moncton, and it's become one of southeastern New Brunswick's most beloved nights for women. Hosted by C3 Leadership, this is an evening all about connection, celebration, and empowerment with gourmet treats, sparkling wine, a fashion showcase by Boutique Deuxième Look, and incredible door prizes. It's also an evening that gives back. 10% of every ticket supports the Beau Séjour Family Crisis Center / Courage Center and the women and children that they serve. So whether you're coming solo, gathering friends, or treating the women on your team, this is your chance to be a part of a truly unforgettable night. Everybody welcome Cindy Comeau.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so
Hi.
excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we've got Champagne and Pearls.
Mhm.
This is very exciting because the Conduit is going to be a presenting sponsor at the event this year. And we thought, what better way to learn more about it than to have you here to talk about it in person? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
virtually, but feels like,
Close
feels like you're
enough.
here. Close enough. Next best thing.
Thank you. And I'm really honored to have you guys on board this year. Means a lot to me.
Amazing. So, what inspired you, Cindy, to create Champagne and Pearls 4 years ago?
Okay, so C3 Leadership has been in business for almost 12 years and have hosted many events over the years. And going into my 10th year next year for International Women's Day, but back when good old COVID was around, she shut us down for a couple of years. And I had to do International Women's Day 2 years from a studio virtually.
Wow.
And then coming out of it, it was like, okay, we need women back together again. Actually, International Women's Day was one of the last events in Moncton to be held in person before we were shut down. So I
Wow.
was really wanting to get women back together sooner than later. So I came up with the idea of Champagne and Pearls. And my first year I got shut down because at that time we were still being closed down. So in 2021, she was ready to go and we couldn't do it. So 2022 onward, we've done it. This is our 4th year this year. And that's really why, is just to bring women back together, because I just believe in the power of women. And we had been on our own and going backwards for a while with women back in the homes and being responsible for the home care and working at home and all the rest. I just wanted women to be pampered and spoiled and have a nice evening out. So that's why I came up with the idea. And when I will say we a lot, because there's a lot of people that have gone into this over the years. It's my business, but it's also a big we at the same time. Sponsors, door prize sponsors, participants, business sponsors, all the rest. So that's why I say we. So
I
you're
love that.
included in the we.
I'm honored to be included.
Thank you.
So I guess that's a good segue to talk about what the bigger mission is behind the event. It's nice to have the ladies be pampered, but we did mention that there is a recipient for ticket, proceeds of 10% of the ticket sales. So what's the bigger mission behind the why?
So a lot of my hashtag I use often, which is used by many people, is empowered women, empower women. So when we have a platform to help other women, we should be using it. Our net worth is the equivalent of our net work, and women don't oftentimes have the opportunity to develop a network. So this is something that I'm focused on doing to help accelerate that. So a lot of times I use the abbreviation of ACT for my events. I didn't use it for this one, but I do luncheons as well. And ACT stands for Accelerate Connecting Today, and it's also geared towards women getting together. So that's really what the mission is behind this, and then to bring light to the presenting sponsors and the business partners involved, and to be able to now give back a portion of the proceeds of the ticket sales to the Courage Center, which is for women who have fled domestic violence, for them and their children. I think that's just a nice thing for us to be doing.
It's wonderful.
Thank you.
So as the woman behind C3 Leadership, what does empowerment mean to you personally? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but we'd love for you to dive a little bit deeper into that.
It has a lot to do with confidence, and women are still today spoken over by many people, and sometimes even other women. So I'm not just, it's not just men that do it, it's other women do it as well. But I just want to empower women because there have been a few people in my life that have done that for me, and I just feel it's a responsibility to give back and do that for others at this point in my life.
But talking about other parts of your life, you wear many hats. You are a daughter, a wife, a mom, a nana, and a
Mhm.
CEO. So how do those roles shape the work that you do?
So I had a career, a nice career at a corporate organization in town. And I'm still all those roles. But as an entrepreneur now, it's even more important for me after having a career working coast to coast, seeing how women were treated in the workplace during a time where women just weren't really as appreciated as they should have been. So that's really, I wear those hats, but that's really why I do. I have two daughters. I have two granddaughters. And I just feel it's my responsibility to give voice to women's voices. I still will have opportunities or situations where I will be spoken over, and
Mm.
I'm at least knowledgeable enough to recognize that's happening, and I will learn to speak for myself. But I also see where others don't have that same strength. So it's my responsibility to kind of be a mother to them and be able to step up for them and say, wait a minute, I think so and so just had a very important point. We should be listening to her. So that's a
Mm.
voice that I now can use for others as well.
It's so lovely to have, such a strong role model in the room in real time, watching, there is oftentimes we feel the consequence is going to be bigger than what it actually is if you do
Mhm,
stand up for yourself, if you do say something. I'm
mhm,
going a little bit off of tangent here, but I was at the golf course. I was telling Brittany this the other day. I was at the golf course on Thursday, I think it was, and there was an older gentleman, and I said, "Do you wanna go through?" And, like, because we were between 9 and 10, and I said, "The boys" I was golfing with 3 boys, and I said, "The boys are getting hot dogs." He goes, "No, no, we'll wait." I said, "Okay, I just didn't wanna hold you up." And he says, "Oh, well, golf's a four-letter word." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Do you know what it stands for?" And I said, "No, what?" And he said, "Gentlemen only, ladies forbidden." And I was so taken aback, and he was like, "Don't hit me, it's just what we say." I said, "I'm not gonna hit you," said, "but I might play a little bit slower just to make you mad." And I was so bothered, and the boys that I was with were so bothered, and they've never made me feel like I wasn't welcome. And this was this like 72-year-old man, but the two younger guys that he was golfing with, I did go over and talk to them at the end of the round and said, "I think you should maybe mention something that, to your friend." And they were like, "We don't know. We were just paired up with him, but we'll definitely say something." Because I said, I was ready to, well, I don't wanna say embarrass myself, but I wish I had have said something in that moment that would have been like, "That was unacceptable." Like,
mhm,
that's not
mhm.
anyway, but it's really nice to have people in the room who do stand up, if somebody is spoken over or
Well, we have allies now. We do have a number of men who are allies, especially younger men whose mothers have worked. They're used to having a
Yeah,
career mom around, so they don't have
yeah.
disrespect. This is something I've experienced, so even more important for us to speak up. I probably would have been a little more forward with my feedback to that gentleman.
I wish I had have had you there in that moment because I would have been like, "Yeah, what Cindy said."
I'll come up with something for you.
Okay, so let's talk about the event. If you had to describe Champagne and Pearls in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
So they would be connect, collaborate, and celebrate, which is actually what C3 stands for. Besides my initials, it
Oh,
stands for connect, or sorry, yeah, connect, collaborate, and celebrate.
amazing. I
So
love
that's what we
that.
do. We connect and we can collaborate. We can have fun. We can do whatever I encourage people when they're there to actually, I will challenge them is, some people here. So I'm going to ask that you not stick with those that you know, that you go out and
Mm,
meet three more people here. And then at least one of those people that you've met, you have to introduce to somebody else that you do know because you see a reason for them to connect. So
I love
we
that.
have a little bit more of a purpose with this connection too. Where when they're given homework, they actually will pay attention to that and it gives them something to focus on because there's many people that will be there that don't know anybody. So we
Right.
create an environment where everyone feels a little uncomfortable, but in a comfortable environment. So that's what it's all
I love
about. Connect,
that.
collaborate, and
What
celebrate.
Connect, collaborate, and celebrate. I love all 3 things that I love to do.
There,
So
see,
I'm very
C3.
much looking forward to the event. So what's one piece of advice then so you'd give, women about prioritizing themselves and saying yes to events like this? Can they latch onto one of the 3 Cs, and maybe that resonates with them to get them there to
Something
give
like
themselves
that.
permission?
Something like that. Or there was a book I came across. I don't remember the exact title, but it was basically men assume and women don't ask. So
Mm,
men assume they can do whatever. If an opportunity comes up for them, they're forever saying, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Women will never do that. They have to actually think about it. They won't ask about attending. Have women generally, for whatever reason, tend to have low deservability. And I think it has to do with the traditional perspective of women in the workplace here. They're secondary to the man. Their job is not as important, all those sorts of things. So they just put family first in many places. The men say yes all the time, and the women just need to learn to do the same. It's something that even myself over the years, and I still have a very supportive husband, and he would say yes to things, and I would even say, "Why are you able to do that?" And I'm not. And he goes, "You just have to say yes. If an opportunity comes, you just have to say yes." But it's that mindset of the older male generation to not
Mhm.
think that women can go and do a lot of these things that men are just naturally allowed to do, and
Mhm.
it's not questioned.
Mhm. Yeah.
That would be it. I would just say women need to start realizing they deserve to do these things as well.
I couldn't agree more. As a woman who has started saying yes now that my youngest is in kindergarten and a little bit more self-sufficient, I've started to say yes to more, and my business and my personal and professional life has just skyrocketed as a result of me saying, "Yeah, if I don't know, I'll figure it out, and if I don't
Right.
like it, I'll try something else."
Right. And your business is something, it's not a 9 to 5, it's a
No.
24/7.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah, so it's
absolutely have to be able to do these sorts of things, no question. And it's going to be interesting to see how people react to you when you do that, because that's
mhm.
not the traditional way that a woman, a young woman should be, running their business. Yeah, it is. That's the way life is.
Yeah, it's 100%
Yeah.
flexibility and boundary setting,
Yes.
and when knowing when to say yes. It doesn't mean it would align with everybody else's when they would say yes,
Right.
but being authentic to yourself and to your business, and it starts to fall into place.
Absolutely.
Okay, what else do we have here? So we've kind of talked about what it makes it special, but what can women expect? Like, let's talk about the meat and potatoes of the event. What can they expect when they walk through the doors on October 16th?
Well, it's a night of fun. You're going to wear whatever you feel good in. I'm not going to tell you. I just would, I hope people don't wear sweatpants because it's not that sort of an evening. There's a little bit more elegance to it. Many will come from work, so they'll wear whatever they've worn to work. Many will dress up a little bit just to make them feel special. It's a confidence boost. They're going to see people that they know and reconnect with. They're going to make new connections. There's going to be some sparkle. It's going to be a very welcoming environment. What's really interesting is we always say it starts at 6:30 and women are lined up at 6 o'clock every time. So
Mm.
we just let them in. They
Right.
want to have that. We're set up by then. We'll let them in the door. And I have some things to say and I have some things, people to thank and that sort of thing. So I'm on the microphone a little bit, and to keep them quiet is really challenging. So
Mm.
that's not easy. So they're just excited to see each other and to meet new people. And then they're going to be able to support the Beausejour Crisis Center / Courage Center. They're going to see fashion. So that's a nice part of the evening. There's going to be the silent, because the Beausejour Crisis Center also have a silent auction table, so they can buy their arm length of tickets for $20, put them
Great.
in whatever prizes they want. We have some fabulous door prizes this year, all for pampering women. It's going to be a fun evening. There's sparkle, elegance. It's just fun. So Magnetic Hill Winery have their champagne brought in, their white wine, sparkling wine, but we call it a champagne. They treat women to that. I also have the non-alcoholic bubbly
Okay.
as well, and bubbly, whatever you want to call it, things like that. Water, I have water. We have a Ukrainian lady that she brings in food, and she brought it in last time, and I thought she had way too much food. And at
Mm.
the end of the night, it was all gone. There were 5 things left. I didn't even get over to the table to taste any of it.
Oh my goodness.
So that happens, and we have some different booths from our sponsors and things like that. Yeah. Anyway, it's an event to attend, and everybody gets something out of it. There's things for women to do when they're not feeling comfortable, so they're not just standing there. They can go to a table and talk to people and do different things. But Krista J comes and she decorates it for us, and she looks after setting up the ramp and the music for the models. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of energy.
I can't wait. So you talk about sponsored tables, and that's a good segue into asking you. I mean, I obviously wasn't a hard sell. You've been near and dear to my heart for many, many decades at this point. But why do you feel it's important for businesses to invest in opportunities like this for women, whether on their teams or in their businesses or even on a personal level?
I just think it's a nice way to recognize women. It's a low cost event. It's golf tournaments, when they send people to golf tournaments, which are, 70% still men. I attended many golf tournaments in my day too. Not
Mhm,
that I liked them, but I did.
mhm,
And it was always a higher proportion of men than women, and that hasn't changed significantly. So this is, and the men get to go during work hours. The company pays for their tickets. So it's a nice boost for them. Well, the same thing should happen for women. They should have a nice opportunity. And this is during evening hours. So it's not work hours. They just have to buy them a
mhm,
ticket. So what's happened this
mhm.
year is it's quite nice. We've probably had 5 or 6 companies buy tickets, 4, 5, 6 tickets. One bought 8 to send some of their female employees to the event. So they get all excited. And
I
that's,
love
that's loyalty building without having to increase your salary. That means you really respect your employees. So yeah, that's something that I think businesses should do. The payback, for loyalty is priceless. There's a few employers that are a little bit concerned because it says champagne and pearls, but we
Ugh,
do have other beverages there.
mhm,
And also there's liquor at golf tournaments.
100%.
Yes. So anyway, so
Yeah.
yes, I'm quite excited that this year that is happening. So we'll see how many more businesses pick up on that in the next 10 days.
Exciting. I can't believe we're 10 days away, which is crazy. So let's talk about collaboration a little bit as one of the three C's. As I had mentioned when we first started chatting, this is the first year for the Conduit as a presenting sponsor. How are you feeling about that? And how did you feel about it after our chat there at Second Cup when we had a chance to sit down?
I'm really I really like supporting women in business. So my sponsors typically are women in business, and they may be entrepreneurial with the business, or they might be a senior leadership person in the business. And I have had the same sponsors for the most part for my events for years. That is a true testament that they're liking what I do. They get value out of sponsoring. We recognize them as much as we can. We are intentional when we talk about them to advise our attendees to please understand the importance of when sponsors sponsor these sorts of events. Like that's now your opportunity to give back. So for you, for example, if people are looking for a realtor, you're a realtor. If they're looking
Mm,
for leadership development, you have another program for that.
mm,
So I want them to be intentional, and I'm going, you will get a couple minutes to speak on stage to share with them so they can start to get a feel for what you're like. And then they
mhm,
can go to your table to learn more about you. And that's all
mhm,
being done in a very comfortable environment where I am putting myself out there saying, I validate who you are. They don't have to worry about getting well, they can still go looking for validations from other people, but I do have a good reputation. I align myself with reputable people and organizations. So I think that that's just really a nice thing for you to be able to do. But like you said, Eric, decades. I mean, I've known you since you and Brittany were in grade 6
yeah.
ever since. So I know you, I know your work ethic. I watched you on Mother's Day here on the sofa working with clients trying to help them figure things out that they were needing to do for a potential sale, and there was competition happening and you were doing your best to get back to everybody quickly. So I'm honored to have you. There's another lady that will be there and she's got a new business happening. The Audi dealership have been wonderful every year, giving us the space to have it, which is amazing. It's a spectacular space. And Krista J, she partners with me on this. So I just like to do what I can do to support women and bring you to the forefront of other people's mind to
Yeah,
consider.
it's such an exciting thing, and we so appreciate the opportunity as somebody who is, well respected in the community when it comes to leadership opportunities and connecting people to who do you know. We're called the conduit for a reason. We literally connect people to what they need or who they need, and we are just so excited to be aligned this year for Champagne and Pearls.
Another C word.
I know, it's perfect. So final question here. What message do you hope that every woman and every business takes away from this year's event?
I hope every woman walks away, or anybody who identifies as a woman. Let's just put that out there because we do
Yeah.
have other people show up too. I hope they all walk away with confidence in themselves, knowing that it's just not the role they play in their work that might make them feel important. They are important in life in general. And I want the businesses to see the value in sending people. I think that's really important for the women and the businesses. We also have Southeast Regional Service Commission as a partner this year again, and they have something called the Connector Program, where it's helping people connect into the community. And primarily it's a lot of students or immigrants coming in, but they just need a little boost as well. They need to meet 3 people quickly. And that's all the role is if you sign up as a connector, you're then connected with a connectee who has some of the same similar interests in your strengths that you have or connections that you have. And that's another thing that we do. So I just hope that everybody walks away getting something out of the event besides door prizes and all that sort of good stuff. Just go walk away with confidence. We want to
Uh,
empower women. What can I say?
I just love it. And I love that empowered women empower women. I think that it can be as small on a scale or as big as is the sky's the limit kind of thing. So
Right.
it applies
Right.
to everybody all the time.
Right. And another part of that is it's not just older women who empower younger women.
Mm,
Younger women often empower older women because you guys have skill sets we don't have. So
mm,
that's not an age thing. That's just whoever has the strength in something can empower another woman with the knowledge, with the connection, with whatever she needs to feel stronger about what her talents and what have you. So empowered women empower women.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.